thank you for watching this episode of the Jersey Shore podcast. So please click the subscribe button to get notified of upcoming episodes. If you like what the Hammer, Damon, Galdo talked about, then send the Jersey Shore podcast to others. The Hammer also looks forward to your comments during upcoming episodes. Tonight's Jersey Shore podcast starts now.
So, hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Jersey Shore podcast. That is S-U-R-E, because we are always sure, brought to you by the Great America's Pulse Network. And I'm your host, Damon Galdo. Thank you for joining us tonight. We have a lot of stuff to talk about New Jersey-wise, and then some other stuff that's happened internationally as well, and across the country as well. So, before we get started, there's some breaking news that I want to throw in here. Let's take a look at that.
Well, the New Jersey state legislature passing 3 anti-ICE bills. Have they not seen the news? Okay, it's signed, and if it was signed into law, the bills would solidify New Jersey as a sanctuary state. Brian Yanis has a story from Morristown, New Jersey. Hi, Brian.
Dana, good morning. And emotions are high here in New Jersey after an ICE raid here at this laundromat and surrounding businesses in Morristown on Sunday led to anti-ICE protests and really controversy here locally. New Jersey Democrat Governor Phil Murphy is now weighing whether or not he's going to sign 3 anti-ICE bills that were passed by the Democrat-controlled state legislature. Now, the bills legally prohibit police from stopping anyone based solely on immigration status, prohibits ICE from operating in New Jersey's jails to deport criminals, and prevents New Jersey from sharing personal data with ICE without a warrant. Now, Governor Murphy has until noon Tuesday when his term ends to sign these bills, and he says the anti-ICE protests in Minneapolis right now are factoring into his decision-making.
You wake up in the second Trump administration trying to balance 2 opposite realities. Number one, always standing up for our values, our communities under attack. On the other hand, you're trying like heck not to start World War III with these guys in Washington.
Now, in July, this illegal immigrant killed a mother and her 11-year-old daughter in a deadly crash in New Jersey after previously being arrested for DUIs and domestic violence charges. The White House and state Republicans say these anti-ICE bills prioritize criminals over law-abiding citizens.
So it is making New Jerseyans far less safe. It is also making New Jersey a magnet state for people who are in this country illegally, may have committed crimes in other places, and by the way, are going to be a burden on the taxpayers of the state of New Jersey.
Now, supporters of these 3 anti-ICE bills say that they actually strengthen public safety, protect the personal privacy of residents here, as well as protect residents from intimidation. Dana?
All right, Brian, thanks for the update.
Really? Okay. So, everyone, I know that was long. I just wanted to get everything in. I had to get Murphy in there. I would also want to say thank God he's out of here, but what we're getting and that's replacing him is probably going to be a lot worse. So we have to buckle down New Jersey. It's not looking good here. And so I'm going to go into my monologue. It's a little lengthy, but because there's just a lot to talk about. And I have a great guest coming on, as always, Jack Brangan. I'll bring him on afterwards. But I just want to talk about what we just saw, what happened in Trenton, because it isn't accidental. It's not a compassionate policy like they say. It's political engineering. If you follow me down this rabbit hole, that's exactly what it is: political engineering. New Jersey just passed, the sanctuary state law, and immediately the narrative machine kicked on. Democrats want you focused on fear of Trump, fear of funding cuts, fear of chaos. But what they don't want you to look at is how they're about to use this law as a weapon against you, the New Jersey taxpayer. And I'll compare it to every time there's a midterm that comes up or any type of election, that there's always they always manufacture like a fear in voters or something good, a dangle carrot from, like, say, hey, we're going to pay for your student loans, vote for us, or the government shutdowns, the Republican shutdown, you're going to lose your SNAP benefits before the November election. That's what it is. So I wrote an op-ed co-sponsored with Jason Cohen, who's running in CD3, because someone has to say the quiet part out loud. I mean, here's the playbook. They passed sanctuary laws knowing full well it risks federal funding. Then they turn around and say, see, Washington did this to you. We had no choice but to raise taxes, gas tax, property tax, fees, tolls, assessments, not because it's necessary, because it's useful. Your livelihood becomes collateral damage in a midterm strategy. They gamble with your paycheck, your mortgage, your grocery bill, then campaign on the fallout, and they call that leadership. This isn't about protecting immigrants. It's about protecting power, and everyone knows that. And I just hope everyone sees that clearly. The writing is on the wall. And New Jersey families, working families like mine and others, and anyone that's listening right now, are the ones who always pay the price. Now, while this is happening, look what's going on in Minnesota. You have riots, ICE protests, streets on fire, civilians caught in the middle. And instead of lowering the temperature, instead of restoring order, we get reckless rhetoric from leadership, language that paints law enforcement as villains and agitates crowds that are already on edge. They're all on edge. And we've got a couple of videos we're going to play tonight. We're going to see it. That kind of rhetoric, it gets people hurt. It gets people killed on both sides. And I believe there's a reason for it. When politicians start shouting, it's usually because they don't want you asking questions. When chaos becomes the headline, accountability disappears. Minnesota has serious issues, the fraud issues that everyone knows about, mismanagement issues, and suddenly the conversation shifts to ICE, Trump, and outrage. Convenient timing. Same thing here in New Jersey. It's not a coincidence. That's deflection. And while all of this is dominating headlines, while college campuses were lit up with protests before, while the media tells us who we're supposed to be angry at, and there's something there that they're not showing, tens of thousands of Iranians are being murdered by their own government, executed, disappeared, silenced. And this is real disappeared, not the American left's definition of disappeared, as they're saying, when ICE disappears people, who couldn't survive a day of real adversity. So where are the protests? Where are the tents on campus? Where are the breathless, media panels? Gone, because it doesn't fit their narrative. No hashtags, no viral outrage, no celebrities screaming into microphones, because moral outrage apparently only matters when it's politically convenient. This is the same media, the same activists, the same politicians. And once you see the pattern, you can't unsee it. Sanctuary laws, funding threats, tax hikes, riots, narrative shifts, selective silence, it's all connected. This isn't chaos, it's calculation. And the American people, New Jersey especially, are being played. But here's the problem for them. People are waking up. They're seeing their taxes go up while politicians preach virtue. They're seeing disorder justified as justice. They're seeing human suffering ignored because it doesn't help win elections. And in 2026, they're going to remember exactly who treated their lives like a political currency. It's not what tonight's about, but not left versus right, not slogans. It's truth versus manipulation. And we're not backing down. So I'm Damon Galdo. This is the Jersey Shore. Let's bring Jack Brangan on.
Hi, Damon.
Hey, Jack, how you doing?
How are you doing tonight?
I could be better, as always.
Yeah, there's a lot going on, not only nationally, but of course in New Jersey. Now, your opening clip there with Fox News talked about 3 new bills that were introduced into the legislature. Now, these bills.
Well, let's go with that, because this is going to be our first hammer segment. It's Trenton's. It's popping up right there. Trenton sanctuary law, taxation fallout. So, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So they referred to 3 laws. I can review these 3 laws in a few minutes so people understand what has occurred here.
Please do.
Yeah. So on Monday, by the way, these 3 bills were only 3 of 132 bills that the legislature voted on. This is what ramming bills through in a lame duck session looks like. 132 bills. 91 of those bills were Democrat-only bills. So 91 of them Republicans did not sign on at all. You can imagine how bad those bills were. With regard to the sanctuary state, the 3 bills, one was called the Safe Communities Act. The second was called the Privacy Protection Act. The third one is the Immigrant Trust Directive. Now, what does the Safe Community Acts do? Well, in terms of ICE, when they have a warrant for an illegal alien, this bill defines what I'll call ICE-free zones. These are areas that legally, according to the state of New Jersey, ICE is not prevented to enter these facilities. What are they? Healthcare facilities and hospitals. So as they're trying to find this individual, if he's in the hospital, ICE cannot enter that building. Any sort of shelter, domestic shelters, homeless shelters, of which many of these people might be homeless. If they find that he's in a shelter somewhere in New Jersey, they cannot enter that, to pick that individual up. Food pantries, off limits to ICE. Courthouses and correctional facilities. Now, courthouses, we've already seen cases, where ICE waits for an illegal immigrant to get finished some sort of court proceedings, and they'll wait outside the door. They can no longer do that. They can't enter that any longer. Likewise, if the immigrant is already in jail, they cannot enter the jail. So this one now bars ICE from these areas. So these are ICE-free zones. No deal. You cannot enter these areas. All of our local assembly people, Greenwald and Kane here in Camden County, they all voted for this. So now the second one is even crazier. This is called the Privacy Protection Act. Now, it's the privacy protection is for the illegal alien. Keep in mind, like Trump has said, these countries have emptied, their jail cells and insane asylums. So we've got some bad dudes, roaming our streets and malls and so on and so forth. In this one, this would be a case where if a local police force came up with, let's say, license plate data on an individual, and ICE contacts, the local police force and says, "Can you share that information?" Okay, that would be if they have information like place of birth, where do they live, license plate, so on and so forth. If ICE has a warrant, the local police must hand that over. What this law says then is that the police department is now required to call the perpetrator. And call the perpetrator, they are being tracked by ICE. And of course, the guy's going to skip town, change license plates, change cars, whatever. This is absurd.
Oh my God. If you're an American citizen, so am I. So imagine you broke the law. All right. There's a warrant out for your arrest. Do you think you're going to get a phone call saying, "Hey, Jack, they're serving that warrant right now. They're going to come lock you up," and just give you a heads up on that? No, they're not. This is unbelievable. Yeah.
It's right from the law. Federal law to disclose any record or information collected pursuant to the provision of this act or automated license plate reader information shall provide notice to the person to whom the record or information pertains. So you got to call them on the phone and say, "ICE is looking for you." This cannot be more than this. This is anti-American. These two, keeping ICE out of certain, areas here, and quite frankly, many of these areas like shelters, pantries, courthouse, these are where the illegal aliens are going to be. So, so they're telling them you can't go here. If they do find out where you are, they have to be notified by the local police department. This is a major step. This is going to look like Minneapolis. This is very bad. None of that information about the illegal alien is available via Oprah. That's the open information.
Mhm.
Any hospitals that shares any of that information can be sued. This is horrible. This is the worst.
What gets me the most, though, too, and ICE cannot go into a jail to get an illegal jail. They broke the law. They're in jail for a reason. So why would you protect someone that's in jail from being deported if they're not a U.S. citizen?
Yeah.
It boggles my goddamn mind. Well, no, I mean, I know why. They want him to vote when he gets out. They want to let him out quickly and say, hey, listen, not a harsh punishment. We don't care if we put citizens at risk, a young woman getting raped or killed or whoever it may be, somebody getting robbed.
We're going to talk about that in a second.
Yeah. So, but it's just, it's getting out of hand, Jack, man. And it bothers me. I have 2 young kids, as you know. I mean, you have grandkids.
Yeah.
It's just growing up in a state like this, it is really, I don't know how to turn it around. I mean, I'm trying to. You tried to run for assembly. I'm trying to run for Congress. I know a lot of other good people that ran for office, but we're getting slammed. We got annihilated in this blue state.
Yeah. I think it was stolen, personally. That's another podcast that we really should schedule. All these numbers with the election don't make sense. Yeah. But this business of reaching out and calling the perpetrator, the rapist or murderer, when the vote, Lou Greenwald, now these are our local assembly people. Lou Greenwald thought it was a great idea. He said yes. Melinda Kane thought it was just peachy to call these folks. She said yes. Down in Gloucester County, Moen and Spearman, they thought this was just wonderful. So, so that's number 2 out of the 3. The third one is basically the Immigrant Trust Directive. Basically bars the local police department, from partnering with ICE in any way, shape, or form, helping them as they go after. So they're not only blocked, the local police, not only will they not assist, but they're going to conspire with the perpetrator and tip him off so he can get out of town to make the job of ICE that more difficult, and for the general public that more dangerous. So
yeah, I know. I mean, I'll take the latter on that one and say, okay, if that's the minimum that happens, I know that they should be able to work with them and arrest them. But if they split town like the state, then all right, get out of my state. At least I'll feel that. But I don't want to put them on somebody else's state, criminal like that. Yeah. Everything's madness. I thank you, Lady Mern. I see you just put some in the chat that this is pure craziness. Only in New Jersey, there it is.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, these are people that ignored our border, our southern border, but now that they are here, that the Democrats are putting borders around them. So we, now they're protected, where our citizens were not protected by our border on the the southern border.
Yeah, well, the thing is, God, being finished. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was going to all these, these steps here with sanctuary. This is a slap in the face to the actual immigrants that have come to this country, and they waited patiently because it takes a long time to become a citizen. Yeah, they paid the money. They've gone, to their training and lessons and that sort of thing. And at the end, they pledge allegiance to this country and this country alone. None of these people pledge allegiance to America. And that's why we have, the Somalis ripping us off, because they never pledged allegiance to the United States. They just busted through the doors, came in and, found an idiot like Kane and in Minnesota. And I want
to ask you, what are your thoughts on this? Why would the Democrat Party push this? We already know they want the votes. They want them to be able to vote. And that's why we thought that you think the election was stolen in New Jersey. I do as well. I believe a lot of illegals voted in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm not saying hundreds of thousands, but enough that one is too many. One is too many.
We don't know.
Yeah, we don't.
There could be hundreds of thousands. I mean, we know that there's a million, pushing a million illegal aliens.
Yeah.
In the Garden State, and keep in mind, every time there's a touch point between an illegal alien and the state of New Jersey, they are offered to register to vote.
Yeah,
if they go to get a license, no matter what they do, they get an invitation to register to vote. Now, why do you think the Democrats are so zeroed in on having these people register to vote? I think it's obvious what's going on here.
It's definitely obvious, but the thing is, too, what's not obvious to me is how the voters, registered Democrats that go out and vote, don't realize this, that they're putting them in harm's way, number one, their safety in harm's way, financially putting them in harm's way, because we talked about this many times before, New Jersey taxpayers pay over $7 billion a year for illegals. And it's like they're ruining our state. I mean, it's so damn expensive to live in New Jersey. And why don't the Democrats see this? Like, I don't see it. I don't understand.
I think for your listeners, we should go back to that number, $7 billion in the state of New Jersey. This is a state where we have school districts that are going bankrupt. And $7 billion, I mean, when they land here in New Jersey, they come hungry. They need a house. They need clothes. They need transportation. They need doctors. They need hospitals. They need education. They have all the things that we all need is being handed over to them at our expense. And these numbers were never budgeted for. These were unexpected guests into the state that are just dumped on us. And if you wonder why you can't get a doctor's appointment, or it takes so long to get a doctor's appointment, or why your taxes never seem to go down, or you can't find an apartment, or it's so expensive, because these folks are getting money being subsidized by you, the taxpayer, to get in all these apartments. And there's a lot of them. If there's a million in the state of New Jersey, there's about 10 million people. 1 in 10 are illegal in this state. That's a tremendous burden on the taxpayer.
Well, Jack, where do you see? Might not be ready by Monday. I'm almost gonna have it ready, but probably by next Friday. I'm going to go over it. I've been doing a breakdown on all this and what it costs, say, a middle class family that actually works every day, to what they have to pay out towards immigrants, towards people that are on welfare, and people that are scamming the system as well. I mean, I'm close to having it all broken down. It will shock the hell out of you. Because I'm shocked with getting these numbers together now, and I'm just about done. But it's going to shock the hell out of me. So, guys, I'm going to do it next Friday, actually. So Monday, Martin Luther King Day, I'll do a tribute to him and do some other things. But I'm probably going to do it next Friday, and I'm going to break this down. So it'll correlate with this show and how much we spend taxpayers. It's unbelievable. I mean, the amount of money that we pay. And
it is.
Have $7.3 billion for people that shouldn't be here. Like, I what I worry about? My wife, my 2 kids. That's who I owe money to. To take care of. Not somebody I don't know that came from another country. Not somebody I don't know that lives across the street. Either way, but Democrats just like to dole it out.
If you are an illegal alien in New Jersey, and your illegal alien son or daughter is of college age, ready to go to Rutgers or any of the New Jersey schools, the state of New Jersey, if you fill out your FAFSA form, they can get scholarship money.
Yep.
To go to Rutgers and become whatever they want to be, an anarchist or whatever their major is going to be.
Yeah.
So for you folks that are home struggling, to pay your tuition, this is crazy here. This is, the reason why you don't have as much left in your paycheck when you come home, because there's a lot of people that need to be supported. And on top of this insanity with ICE, it endangers every man, woman, and child in this state, because we know that the jails and the insane asylums of Venezuela, Nicaragua, all of these countries dumped their very worst, that came across the border. Now, the Immigrant Trust Directive, these three bills are going to be codified.
Right, well, Jack, just so we have about 30 seconds to wrap up this segment until we go to a break.
Okay.
So if you can finish what you're saying.
Let me just finish by saying, look, Murphy came up and said, he seems like he's wavering. It's not a difficult decision for him. He's going to sign every one of these because we have Mikey Sherrill coming in. We will soon have Trump disorder syndrome moving into Drumthwackets. This is going to be hate Trump for the next 4 years. So let me just say there's been many men, women, and children that have been stabbed, murdered, children that have been raped, little girls, preteen girls, 10-year-old boys. They've been raped by individuals that were illegal aliens and should not have been in the Garden State. They were here only because of the original Immigrant Trust Directive from 2018. What's happening now, it's going from directive, which is from the Attorney General. Now it's going to become law. And that's what these three bills, it will no longer be a directive. It will be a law now. But,
gotcha. We'll pick up on this because the next segment is towered into the first. So we'll talk about it. And everybody out there, you can go into the chat box and ask a question, make a statement, we'll put it up on the screen. And we're going to take a quick break. We'll see you on the next Hammer segment.
America's Pulse Network. The mainstream media is bought and paid for. The truth is twisted to fit their agenda. But America is waking up because podcasts are the future for trusted media. Welcome to the America's Pulse Network. It is a network built by patriots that upholds the Constitution. The America's Pulse Network stands for God, truth, and the America First movement. There is no corporate propaganda, no government spin, just real news, real talk, and real voices fighting for faith, freedom, and the future of this great nation with common sense. Here are some of America's Pulse Network podcasts. Alexandra Levine Live, hosted by Alexandra Levine. Jersey Shore Podcast, hosted by Damon Galdo. The Conservative Corner, hosted by Seth Eisenberg. APN's The Pulse, hosted by Alexandra, Damon, Elena, and Seth. So tune into America's Pulse Network on the following social media platforms: X/Twitter, Rumble, Truth Social, Parler, Facebook, and YouTube. Join the revolution. Because the pulse of America beats for God and country. America's Pulse Network is for faith, family, freedom, and truth.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the Jersey Shore podcast, and thanks for Lady Mern for keep chatting in on making your statements there. You're here with Damon Galdo, the host, and I can't even say special guest anymore because everyone knows how special you are. You're a guest all the time, Jack Brangan. So this Hammer segment, and I don't say hammer if you see my new golden hammer here that Seth put me up to. I'm painted it gold.
Gotcha. I was wondering what that was there.
Yeah. So I'm not finished with it yet. It's just like a prank back and forth. Seth calls me the Hammer for some reason. Nicknamed me that. So it's like an ongoing joke. So I put that in the background. But I didn't have the kids. They said they're going to finish it up for me with Jersey Shore podcast and all that stuff. But yeah, this is calculated politics, this Hammer segment, in the 2026 midterm games. Now, now the thing is, the reason why as you know, you helped me out with the email to Christine. Right. And one thing that scares the heck out of me, because I know Democrats are so calculated. They really are. I mean, any politician should be, in a way. Yeah. But I could just see the writing on the wall and where it's going, because Trump just came out and said, I'm not going to, well, whether it holds up or not, he's not going to fund sanctuary states. So it's funding. So it's just, like I said in the monologue, it's the game that they play. They lead up to it, and they're going to use it, and we need to get ahead of it. because that's what they're going to do. The Democrats are going to say, "Oh, well, we're going to raise your taxes. We're going to raise this or that, whatever it may be." And they're going to blame it on the Republicans. They're going to blame it on Trump because they said, "Oh, we're not receiving federal funding, so they're going to starve New Jerseyans even more." And they're going to blame it on the Republicans, and the media will pass that narrative down constantly, and people will believe it, and then we'll get wiped out in the midterms. So I'm just trying to get ahead of it because I know that's where it's going.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. This is going to start on January 20th when Mikey Sherrill gets in. Most likely 25%, maybe 50% of her inauguration will be Trump bashing. And part of this will be, she will characterize it as a threat against the people of New Jersey, right? With Trump withholding, federal funds and that sort of thing to the state. But it's precipitated by the Democrats. They are the ones that are teaching our boys that they are girls. They are the ones, that are bringing a million illegal immigrants into the state. They are the ones bringing fentanyl, into the inner cities. They are the ones that will not allow parents that are in the inner city in failing schools to do school choice. It's the Democrats that are stopping them from doing that. So it's the Democrats that are causing this chaos, not Trump, because frankly, all the red states are prospering. This country is moving on to the golden age. New Jersey is going to be stuck in the dustbin here.
Yeah.
And this is not because Trump has anything against New Jersey. He is just not going to fund, gender ideology in the school system. He's not going to fund boys and girls sports. He's not going to fund, cutting ICE agents out, from hospitals and jails. And he's not going to put up with any of that stuff. No one should be surprised. And frankly, the correct reaction is you're not getting any more money. This is a little bit too crazy here. And it's brought on by the Democrats. It is not him. The other states are doing fine.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And the thing is, and that's why we do this podcast. That's why we do, the radio show as well, and multiple podcasts is trying to get the message out there. I see, Lady Mern just said, is anyone involved in cleaning up the voter rolls? Yeah, I mean, we're working towards it. Voter integrity is out there. They're trying to. If there's a lot of things that need to happen, I don't know how they got so entrenched to where they have tentacles everywhere. I mean, they're all the judges are Democrat. I mean, the Norcross controls just about everything. So and around here, so but I don't understand like that. That's why we do this, because I want the people to understand. Because no Democrat watches this show, obviously, because the conservative. Right. But if you know a Democrat friend, just try to explain to them. Like, listen, this is just common sense. It really is. They're killing this state and this country, and there's no. I just don't understand. I'm not the smartest person in the world at all. I'm not. I'm not the smartest person, in my town. Even, it's just. But I can see the writing on the wall. It's like, what? Like, what are you missing here? And so
yeah, I mean, you would have to convince me with this last election that people. They voted against their own best interests.
Yeah, exactly.
In effect, they said, yes, bring on more taxes. Yes, I want to be in the highest property tax in the country. Yes, I want my son to be taught he can be a girl. Yes, I want boys and girls sports. Yes, I want illegal alien. I don't believe it. I don't believe people voted that way. That there's something nefarious that went on, and the voting numbers, I don't know if you want to get into the voter stuff of the election, but the numbers look fishy.
Yeah, I think that there was a lot more. What was it? It was like 700,000 more votes in 2021, roughly, something around there.
Between the last gubernatorial election to this one, 719,000 new voters appeared out of nowhere. of which Mikey Sherrill got roughly 500,000 of those new voters. Now, where did they come from? They came from Newark. The new voters, Newark, Jersey City, and East Orange. Where is the greatest concentration of illegal aliens in New Jersey? Newark, East Orange, Jersey City. A red flag goes up right there.
Yeah.
So you say, it could be 100,000. I'm saying it could be 300,000.
Yeah, it could be. I don't know.
A lot. Yeah. Chitterelli, his total, I don't have it here in front of me, but his total was more votes than any other Republican in any gubernatorial election for the last 20 years. He had more totals than any Democrat. He got more than Phil Murphy got last time, more than any other, except for this one election. And that's because there was this tidal wave of 700,000 voters that came out of the woodwork. And you can't tell me that Mikey Sherrill has this huge following in Newark, East Orange, and Jersey City. There's something funky going on here.
Yeah, Mern keeps popping up there with the R registered new R votes. Those 500,000 are scam ghosts. So, Mern, I don't know if you know any.
If you go into the polling places, there's signs all over that says no ID required.
Well, of course. Yeah. Well, what was that? I said this before, and I'm going to get on to something else. I got a couple pictures put up in a second. My sister, when she's voted for years, and you don't need ID. You sign your name, and it matches your signature from the year before or whatever. And so she just decided to try it out. She said, "I'm going to go in there, and I'm going to, even though her name is right above the signature line that she signed the year before, she marked an X." And they're like, "Oh, just sign your name." So that's my signature. And they were like, "Okay, go vote."
Yeah.
So,
usually it'll be somebody for the first time. They're intimidated. They're not going to make trouble. They don't want to make trouble, right? And challenge someone.
But for years on end, you sign your same signature when you vote, and then someone decides, "Oh, just write an X." I mean, it was just an experiment she did just to see if they were going to allow her to vote, and of course they did.
Yeah. So I think the voter rolls have to be pursued. Personally, I don't think we should do it on a county level. I think we should take a copy of the entire New Jersey voter database, all 21 counties, top to bottom, run it up against the SAVE database and the Social Security database. That will give you a 95% accuracy on whether that voting individual is an illegal immigrant or not. And you do it all at once across the whole state. You get them all off at once, and you charge them.
Yeah,
because it is a crime to do that.
Sure.
And you pursue.
Yeah,
and if there's enough, maybe if there's enough, there could have been 500,000 on there. If there's enough, you decertify. I don't know. Now you're in uncharted territory. I don't know if you
need the right people in office, whether it's state or even federal. It doesn't really matter. You need the right people in office. But I just wanted there's a couple of things I want to put up these couple of pictures because we have a long segment on the next one.
Okay.
We've got a bunch of clips. So this is Donald Norcross. He Norcross supports New Jersey's sanctuary style policies. It's evidence legislative record and public advocacy. So everybody can look at that and see that. Norcross has a record of voting against measures that would strip federal funding from sanctuary jurisdictions. So that's again the most powerful congressman in the state of New Jersey, most powerful family in the state of New Jersey, one of the most powerful families in the country. And this is what they support because they want to stay in power. How do you think they stay in power? I'm not accusing them of cheating or anything like that, but it's just, you got to think about it, the stuff that you're saying. When Jack Ciattarelli lost, you can't really accuse anybody of cheating, but there's something fishy about it. There's something that wasn't right. It wasn't a normal election. Just like Biden getting 81 million votes in 2020. Like, no way. That's just my personal opinion.
That's how I feel about. That's how I feel about Mike and Cheryl. I don't buy it.
Yeah, and then I mean everything else is in there. An Immigrant Trust Act, Norcross expressed support for legislation for that as well, which aims to formalize sanctuary style protections at the state level. And he's a federal congressman, but at the state level, so he supports that. Let's bring the next one up real quick. So in the current political climate in early 2026, Norcross has been vocal critic of Trump administration, of course, and then his immigration actions in New Jersey. Of course, he is the critical of Trump. But yeah, I mean, you guys can read all this stuff yourself. I just want to put it up on the screen. But this is what the Democrats support. This is what they back. And number one, it's anything against Trump, bad orange man, and anything against the taxpayers, because they reap the benefits off of getting votes, and that's what it is. I think there's just one more on here. We just throw it up there. I was just going to say, let's see, tax on immigrant country. Oh yeah, so he framed the current administration's actions as unprecedented attacks on our immigrant communities, reaffirming that the United States is a nation of immigrants, while calling for a system rooted in the rule of law. Well, the rule of law is you cannot cross our borders, illegally. It's the rule of law.
See, it's this wordplay that must be insulting to the immigrants that are going. When they just say attacks on our immigrant communities, these are the illegal immigrant communities.
Yeah, not the immigrants. Yeah, exactly.
Nobody's against immigrants if they come in the correct way. In fact, don't we bring in 50 million or something? I don't know what the number of visas are signed every year. I mean, there's not 50 million, but I'll have to check that number. There's quite a few people that come in every year on student visas and that sort of thing.
Yeah, and even work visas as well too. There's a lot, but it's just people do it the right way. I mean, don't forget, our friend Pete, his fiance did it the legal way, and she did it legally. It took her a long time, but she did it the right way. And she doesn't like this. She's not with people just crossing the border willy-nilly and have to pay taxes for them because they just broke our laws. I mean, that's what that number one bothered her. The rule of law. The rule of law is don't break our laws by crossing borders. I mean, that's the first one. So the Democrats they're out of their mind. And I don't know if there's another one. I think that might be the end of this one. I looked up a couple of things that he supported, but on the next Hammer segment, Jack, we're going to go to that because we have a ton of clips to cut. They're all very short clips, so it's all. Okay. And I just want to warn everybody that the first one is it's bad, so viewer discretion is advised. I mean, there's nothing really gory, but it's sad. So I just want to let you know. Talk about the videos of Iran. So I just want you to know beforehand. Then we're going to break down Tim Walz's speech, the little clips as he goes, Tampon Tim, and then we'll go into something else, and then the loser and the Patriot of the Week award. So let's take a quick break.
Welcome to America's Pulse Network. This is APN's very own White House correspondent, Alexandra Levine.
This is so amazing and miraculous. We've never had a president in the history of our nation doing this. And we hope to God that he continues doing this forever and ever. Thank you. God bless you, everybody. And God bless President Trump.
And God bless you.
Hello, everyone. This is Alexandra Levine with the America's Pulse Network. I am the White House correspondent right here in the heart of D.C. as President Trump is celebrating 250 years of America and the military.
Subscribe and follow America's Pulse Network on the above social medias.
All right, everybody. Welcome back to Hammer segment number 3. This is Tim Walz to Iran. So it's actually going to change a little bit. It's going to be Iran to Tim Walz because that's just the way I wanted to play these videos. So, Jack, before we get started on this, and like I said, viewer discretion advised. It's a horrible scene.
Okay, I'll put my seatbelt on. Prepare.
Yeah. I mean, it's just all the dead bodies. They're killing their people over there, mowing them down, and it's just That's why I said in the monologue, I said, where are the protests for against right now? So no, my producer, that is the last video. I actually I want to start with that one. I'm going to start with that video, the one I ran, and then go to the Tim Walz, and then the other one of the guy that was like Rocky out in Minnesota, just knocking people out. So we'll get to that. But I'd rather do I ran video first because it's important. So can we roll that one first? Jack, these are people, and I want to say, thank God that we have our Second Amendment. These are people that are protesting and they're running straight into bullets that their government are mowing them down with. If they had a Second Amendment, maybe they would have a chance to not be annihilated with that. They're looking at 10 to 20,000 people that are over there. So,
yeah, I mean, that's heartbreaking. There's a lot of tears and wailing. I mean, it's a horrible thing. It's hard to believe that this level of evil exists in this world, but I guess we should know by now that it does, because it shows its face over and over again. I don't see how they can keep the lid on this. I mean, the population, under normal circumstances, they have the internet and they see how free societies live.
Well, they've been shutting it down.
Well, recently they have. I'm just saying in general, for years, they have seen how the rest of the world lives.
Yeah.
And the women, their faces are not covered throughout the world, but you know, the restrictions are very severe on women in Iran. And they see what's going on in the rest of the world, and the rest of women are, you know, have freedom. And that's what they want here. It's going to be a very tough situation. They have no guns. They have no way to protect themselves, but they do have numbers, and they do have Trump. That's
I'm sure Trump. I mean, he already said it. You never know what he's going to do. He never really plays his hand. He'll say something and said help is on the way, and then all of a sudden, bam, something happens. But I just hope it doesn't lead to. Trump has been in so many situations. He ended like 8 major conflicts so far, which is great. But you know, he presses here, presses there. He just has to be careful. And I don't want to get involved in a war with Iran. But I hope, from what he has done, what he has showed, that they stop, they back down, they get out, and let the people, because that you said they have the numbers, let the people take it over and maybe get, you know, what they want out of it. But just killing people in the streets like that, it's horrible. I hate showing it. I really do. But the mainstream media, they're not showing it at all. They're not. You know, so somebody has to put it out there. I mean, other like conservative media is showing it, but I hate even putting that there, because it's just a sad thing. And so
I mean, the media is complicit in so much of the chaos that's going on in the world. You know, they are responsible. I mean, they say the pen is mightier than the sword. I mean, in a way, the media is the pen. They have the communication, and now with the internet, you know, the word spreads immediately. And what they tell are half truths. You know, they I don't think they blatantly lie, but I think this last episode where there were 3 illegal aliens that were stopped by an ICE agent, and I think the 3 of them attacked, and one of the I think the ICE agent shot one of them in the leg.
Oh yeah.
That just happened. Well, I don't know where I saw, maybe it was CBS. They reported that an ICE agent shot an illegal alien in the leg who was trying to flee.
No, he's trying to hit him with a shovel.
That's what I said.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Not the CBS. It sounded like this guy was running away, and the ICE agent pulled his gun and shot him in the leg.
Well, and that's the problem with our media. That's a problem with our Democrat-led states and governors like Tim Walz. And we're going to move on to Tim Walz because I think I have about 5 or so clips. It's one of the speeches he just gave, and you're going to see. We'll stop, do one at a time, and what he says. We'll break it down for like a minute or two, then go to the next one, and then the next one. And he's inciting this stuff. And one of the main reasons I believe he's an asshole. And he's a coward and everything else. But I really think he's pushing this narrative. He's really pushing it hard because of the fraud. Yeah. So he wants to get the spotlight off the fraud. And
I mean, isn't he sort of coming real close to the line of inciting? I mean, inciting violence is a crime. It seems awful close to that line to me.
Yeah, let's dissect his parts of the speech here. Let's go with the first one.
My fellow Minnesotans, what's happening in Minnesota right now defies belief. News reports simply don't do justice to the level of chaos and disruption and trauma the federal government is raining down upon our communities. 2,000 to 3,000 armed agents of the federal government have been deployed to Minnesota. Armed, masked, undertrained ICE agents are going door to door, ordering people to point out where their neighbors of color live. They're pulling over people indiscriminately, including U.S. citizens, and demanding to see their papers. And at grocery stores, at bus stops, even at our schools, they're breaking windows, dragging pregnant women down the street, just plain grabbing Minnesotans and shoving them into unmarked vans, kidnapping innocent people with no warning and no.
That's why I said in the monologue about disappeared. And he says all that stuff. He's going to say it in the next one too. I mean,
they're dragging pregnant women down the street.
Yeah, like really, I can't stand this guy. I can't stand. I can't stand the fact that the media will let him play that. I mean, they're complicit in it as well.
Yeah,
because there's people out there that are unhinged. They've been gaslit by a bunch of different things. And just look at Renee Good that was killed. Now, listen, did she deserve to be killed? But it was her fault for it. It's hands down her fault. And you'll see in the next clip. I'll let you take this one after. Let's play this next clip and take this one.
Instead, it's a campaign of organized brutality against the people of Minnesota by our own federal government. Last week, that campaign claimed the life of Renee Nicole Good. We've all watched the video.
Yeah, Jack, we all have watched the video. What did you see in that video?
This I didn't realize this. When you see the run-up to the actual shooting, she is perpendicular in the street, blocking the ICE agents.
Yeah.
And I kept hearing, this horn honking, during the whole thing. I didn't realize that was her.
Yeah, it was.
She was sort of dancing in the front seat, hitting the horn on and off, just, taunting and creating chaos. And actually, those agents were pretty cool. They were pretty good about it. And she had every opportunity to de-escalate the situation. Multiple opportunities. And it's just, when her partner yelled to her, "Go drive, girl, drive," or whatever it was, she took off and did not have enough angle to turn that car to miss the ICE agent. And unfortunately for her, she hit the agent. That gives him authority to protect his own life. That agent might have positioned himself differently. I don't know. But even if he did, it still does not supersede the fact that, he was there in front of the car, and this woman should never have accelerated and could have diffused the situation, but she accelerated, and it costed her life. This is disinformation, and this is a half truth that he's telling, and a half truth is still a whole lie, and that's my message to the CBS News. A half truth is still a whole lie. So this is bad.
And he had his cell phone out too, that agent, because they were doing the same thing. And we'll get into that that's towards the end of these clips. But let's roll the next one.
And yet, instead of conducting an impartial investigation so we can hold accountable the officer responsible for Renee's death, the Trump administration is devoting the full power of the federal government to finding an excuse to attack the victim and her.
I didn't choose to attack the victim, Jack. I mean, number one, that guy's face looks like he's under duress. Like, I don't know.
I mean, he's going to be in jail probably next year at this time.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it never really happens to.
He's not going to wiggle out of this. This fraud that's going on. You can't just say, "Oh well, I didn't know." I'm a governor. I didn't know. I don't.
Well,
think
you have people testifying in Congress saying that he knew about it, and they brought it to his attention, and he dismissed it. Didn't want to deal with it because they're going to follow the money. Some of that money got funneled into his campaign.
Yeah,
it was fraudulent. So that's what allegedly so far.
Yeah, the whole Democratic Party, not his nomination as vice president, was a big thank you for all the money that you had filtered into the party over the last 10, 15 years. So, it was a payoff. It was a thank you. I mean, the Democratic Party vet this person? When they vetted him, they didn't come across this fraud. They didn't care.
I think they were just too brazen. They didn't care. They were too brazen, and that's what it was. It was going to come out. They didn't think Trump was ever going to win again. They were looking at, obviously in the beginning trying to impeach him, and then when he was out of office, I know my heart that they stole that election from him. I can't prove it, but I just can feel it. So, and then they tried to bankrupt him. Then they tried to put him in jail. Then they tried to kill him twice. So who they are, I'm not saying who they are, but it was a lot against him. They didn't think he was getting back in, and now he gets back in, and now Tim Walz is shitting his pants because it's all getting exposed.
Yeah. So, I mean, people are going to start squealing all around him. He's going to find himself surrounded at some point. Same thing with that attorney general out there.
Yeah.
They're both going to go down. Most of the blue states, California, I haven't heard them mention New Jersey yet. Somehow we're still under the radar.
Hopefully it'll come as long as they push for it. I mean, it will come for sure. We have to have so much fraud here. Sure, there's fraud in red states. Of course, there's fraud everywhere. But it seems like the majority of it is in the blue states because they have these entitlement programs and forward. And so we'll see what comes of it. But we got another clip. I think there might be two more left of Tim.
First, Donald Trump wants this chaos. He wants confusion. And yes, he wants more violence on our streets. We cannot give him what he wants. We must protest loudly.
So with that clip, let's just roll the next one real quick, and then we'll get through Tampon Tim because I can't stand saying.
So carry your phone with you at all times. And if you see these ICE agents in your neighborhood, take out that phone and hit record. Help us create a database of the atrocities against Minnesotans, not just to establish a record for posterity, but to bank evidence for future prosecution.
So shove cameras in their faces all the time and impede ICE even more. I mean, the rest of
that does not sound like illegal to me. Not yet.
Well, no, that's not illegal, but it's like you're just gaslighting. Yeah. You're saying Because when you tell someone, get your phone out, and they're going to be right up in their face, and just like they were when Renee Good was killed because of what happened, what she did. And it's like, it never should have happened.
Didn't the demonstrators tear a firearms box out of the back of one of the patrol cars or something like that? Did you see that?
Oh yeah, in Minnesota. They ripped. Yeah. So my point is, like, it never should happen. When you have somebody that seems like she was somewhat unhinged, like Renee Good,
right?
You know, and when you go into these classes on how to impede ICE and stop ICE, I mean, I didn't even know they had classes like that. I mean, who's paying for it? Number one, for her to go for these things. And then you see our elected officials like Tim Walz and even Jacob Fry, the mayor, and that dude is a complete D-bag. But when you hear him saying it over and over again, the mainstream media just airs it and airs it and airs it. These people sitting at home, they're like, "Oh yeah, they're right. I'm going to go do something. I want to be an activist," and then that's what happens.
Yeah. Now, if Tim Walz encourages people,
Heather said Soros is paying for that. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
he's one of them.
You know, if Walz encourages people to tear the arms box out of the trunk of a car, of an officer's car, or try to steal the guns out, then he's over the line. Then he'll be illegal, and I think then they could charge him with something. I'm not exactly what, but inciting a riot, something like that. So,
yeah, I mean, I know if you, it's not really like you could say what you want, you know, and you know that's their First Amendment right. But I just think that there's a point in time if you're an elected official, and you're supposed to be leading your constituents, and you work for your constituents, but you're supposed to lead the way for them, and you make statements like that. It should be a little different.
Yeah.
You know, because they went after Trump so hard with the insurrection when he said peacefully and protest, go down to the Capitol, and then even BBC they cut it in half and they made it look like it was worse. I know it just came out recently. Yeah. They merged the two things together, but when you say this stuff, like it's like Maxine Waters get out in the street, get up in their face, tell them you're not wanted. You throw them out, and some people say, we're going to punch you in the face, and they'll say that. And It's like, oh, well, you're an elected official. Like, I could say, Jack, I'm going to punch you in the face. And you would say, no, you're not. And if I don't punch you in the face, then, that's not a problem. But if you're an elected official and you're on TV all the time, and you say that to people that actually, elected you and they follow you and they elected you for a reason, they think you're going to do something good, and you say that, I think it should be a little bit different. There should be something in there.
I agree. The politicians do have immunity from being sued, but they don't have immunity against criminal behavior, right? So if Tim Walz encourages criminal behavior, breaking into a police car, taking the weapons out of the back, that's all criminal behavior.
Yeah.
He could be charged, I would think. I'm sure Pam Bondi is watching and listening to every word, because as soon as he goes over the line, they're going to pick him up.
Well, Jack, we're coming to the end of the segment. We've got one more clip to play in this segment, and hopefully Tim Walz never walks, meets this guy. This guy was just tortured by these protesters, and he was just waving American flag, and he had enough. So let's roll the clip.
Now, this is what happens when Republican MAGA men run up against Democrat liberal males. Check this out.
Bro. Hey, guys.
I bet he think twice before he talk crazy to somebody next time.
That's going to leave a mark.
Ooh, he went to sleep, that guy.
Yeah.
But I mean, the guy's got the alarm with the bullhorn in his ear. He's put in his ear, and the guy's. It's like, come on, man.
Yeah.
That poor guy. I mean, listen, I'll tell you right. He should get in the MMA because he took on like 5 or 6 different people there. And
Did you tell me he got fired?
Yeah, he got fired from his job. Yeah,
I mean, we really should start a GoFundMe for that guy.
There probably already is one out there. So.
Yeah, I mean, that's not right that they fire him.
Yeah,
you know, he was being assaulted, and I think he has a right to defend himself.
Of course, yeah. I mean, I would have did the same thing. I don't think I would have took on and knocked out 6 people like he did.
Yeah,
but yeah, no. I mean, guys out there waving an American flag at a protest. If you want to protest like they were doing and being loud and obnoxious, and if you want to be a protest, I've been to protest before on the other side of it.
Right.
You know, you have been too, and just looking at the people, how the Democrats and the left act, they're unhinged.
They are obnoxious. They're nasty. They're foul mouthed. They're just obnoxious people. Very unhappy people. Yeah, and they are always anger is just right there under the skin. You know, they're very volatile bunch. So,
well, when it comes down to it, you look at the difference. When you have a soy boy like that guy that's like sticking that bullhorn in his ear over and over again, and keeps taunting him and keeps waiting for it. Well, that's what happens. FAFO. That's why that was on that video.
Yeah.
But he deserved it. You know, I don't like to condone the fact that it happened or like the fact that it happened, but I kind of do, actually. No, I do like the fact that it happened. I'm sorry. I can't lie. You know, I do like the fact that it happened because it's like, get the hell out of my face. You know, you have a right to be there to protest, and I do too, to wave the American flag. If you want to do that to me, then I'm going to defend myself. I'm going to get out of my face.
He was being assaulted with that speaker, that noise.
Yeah, he kept shoving it on his ear, like over and over again.
Yeah.
So then you had enough.
Yeah.
And then you had him versus all those people.
Right.
But all right, Jack. Well, listen, we're going to go to this last quick hammer segment. Take a quick break. This is the quick segment. This is where we go through the Patriot Loser of the Week award. And
sounds good.
All right, got it.
America's Pulse Network. The mainstream media is bought and paid for. The truth is twisted to fit their agenda, but America is waking up because podcasts are the future for trusted media. Welcome to the America's Pulse Network. It is a network built by patriots that upholds the Constitution. The America's Pulse Network stands for God, truth, and the America First movement. There is no corporate propaganda, no government spin, just real news, real talk, and real voices fighting for faith, freedom, and the future of this great nation with common sense. Here are some of America's Pulse Network podcasts. Alexandra Levine Live, hosted by Alexandra Levine. Jersey Shore Podcast, hosted by Damon Galdo. The Conservative Corner, hosted by Seth Eisenberg. APN's The Pulse, hosted by Alexandra, Damon, Elena, and Seth. So tune into America's Pulse Network on the following social media platforms: X/Twitter, Rumble, Truth Social, Parler, Facebook, and YouTube. Join the revolution. Because the pulse of America beats for God and country. America's Pulse Network is for faith, family, freedom, and truth.
All right, everybody, welcome back to Hammer segment number 4. Like I said, it's a quick one. We're going to go into the Patriot and Loser of the Week award. So let's roll the Patriot of the Week award.
The Jersey Shore podcast presents this week's Patriot Award. It goes to
So I thought we might have had a picture of him. Josh served in the military. He's actually, I work with him. He's a great guy.
Gotcha.
He's a true patriot, and sometimes he's very thorough. He's the engineer on site, so it doesn't work like with my company, but he's just the resident engineer there. Sometimes I want to kill him because he's so thorough, but I think the military made him that way. And I'm like, God damn, just let go, Josh. but I don't want to be on the opposite side like that guy at that protest.
Yeah.
But no, Josh is a great guy.
You want him thorough. You don't want the opposite.
Yeah, I know. I'm just making it a joke, making it light, but because he's probably watching right now. But no, he's a great guy, and thank you for your service, Josh. I really appreciate it. And then we're going to go into our loser award. And I bet no one's going to guess who it's going to be this week. Again, maybe the third time. Soon.
Losers! 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 Oh, shut up!
Now, I always love the losers part, but for the record, any listener out there, everyone's listening, that crosshair picture was there. There was nothing about that, not inciting anything. That was just it was part of the picture that we pulled up. So no,
You can make him the loser of the month.
I mean, he could be the loser. Yeah, it's fine. But I just the old crosshair things. I remember Biden said that about Trump, and then he get someone trying to assassinate him like afterwards. But no,
we don't want to do that.
We don't incite that. It was just part of the picture that we pulled up.
We want him in jail. That's what we want.
Absolutely. And he deserves to be in jail.
Along with his compadres that have been ripping all the people off.
Yeah. I mean, I still can't get over that, man. I still can't. Like
$1 billion. Yeah.
And Omar out there still talking about it, saying they're attacking us, the Somalian community.
She's another one they got to deport. I wish they would get on with it, and start the proceedings.
Well, but why? I mean, one thing too with her, she married your brother. I mean, she never denied it, never talked about it. Everyone says it. I mean, I think there's facts out there that she did, but why is it okay that she married her brother? Like,
so I may be wrong here, but I thought that this was a typical, sort of a standard trick that the Somalians use to get through the immigration stuff. That they do this all the time.
That's exactly what it was. I mean, Somalians they're no. I mean, not every Somalian is a bad person. I'm not saying that, but they're known for their culture of being pirates and how to, lie, cheat, and steal. So it's like, how do you if it's known that you married your brother to get into the country? It's like, well,
it's fraud. Get her out.
Yeah, why is it let go? I don't know.
We don't know. There's things like this. I don't know why they're not going after the people in J6, part of the panel, and everybody that lied to the entire country. They never prosecute them. Now, maybe it's beyond the statute of limitations. I don't know. That's allowed to fester out there as ammunition for the Democrats. And again, we were defrauded by the whole thing.
Yeah, well, this probably is past the statute of limitations. But the thing is, when I'm a glutton for punishment, I listen to like every congressional hearing, and on my way to work, on my way back to work, all the time, I just listen to them all. And it's like Jerry Springer, and they say to her, we're going to get this person there. We're going to spin. They just subpoenaed Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton, and they said, no, we're not coming.
Yeah.
So what do you think is going to happen to them? I mean, they could be holding contempt by not showing up. Just like, what was it? What's his name? He spent like 5 months in jail. He's the podcaster, the War Room.
Bannon,
yeah. So he didn't show, and he was held in contempt of Congress when the Democrats were, and he spent 5 months in jail. Do you really think Hillary or Bill Clinton are going to No, it's not going to happen. I mean, no one gets punished for what they do. They make a spectacle out of it. It's like a Jerry Springer show, and they make everybody look at it like, oh yeah, we're going to go after them. We're going to do this. Like Obama, with all the things that come out with him, with the and Hillary with the Steele dossier. Think anything was come of that? No.
I mean, frankly, that's why we hired Trump for 4 more years to get these people. We want to see perp walks. That's all I can say.
Yeah, so Trump needs to do it. I mean, but I don't know. Once you're in there and you think about, okay, he wants a legacy for himself. He wants to do the right thing. And then he's looking at maybe Vance or Rubio, whoever's going to be next in line. You look at it, are you going to hurt the Republican Party by doing this? Because once you break that glass, it can't be unbroken. But the Democrats already broke it by trying to put him in jail. You know, and so it's.
Yeah, the Democrats play for keeps, and we're too polite.
Yeah,
that's that I would just wish we would get on with it and get these people in jail. I don't have the entire list. There must be 15 people of Trump associates that went to jail, and they were all wrongly, convicted and sent to jail. It was just ridiculous. It was a political, it was a political campaign to put all of his immediate circle behind bars, and they did it. So,
I know. All right, well, Jack, we're going to wrap it up here. So, you want to tell anybody where they want to find you? I know you, Jack, recently ran for assembly in LD 6 in Camden County, New Jersey, and it's probably not going to be the last time when he's going to run for something. He's still heavily involved with a bunch of stuff. So,
well, most people can find me just at Jack Brangan on Facebook. I'm just there under my name, nothing fancy. The website during the campaign is Vote Jack and Pete. That is still there. So either one of those, I'm usually posting about things going on in Trenton each day on Facebook. So just under Jack Brangan.
Also, I'm hearing some rumors that you and another special little lady may be joining the America's Pulse Network.
Maybe. We're trying to. We're in negotiations on pricing. They're difficult. I'm hopeful. Like Trump says, I'm hopeful.
So, all right, and everybody knows where you can find me. It goes across the bottom all the time. Damon Galdo, NJ X, and
it's just so people know what Damon is referring to there. Myself and Constant Ditzel are contemplating a podcast on the America Pulse Network, and it's going to be Spotlight on Trenton. Everything that we talked about tonight with the bills, and we have a lot more to talk about. I only talked about 3 of them, but the Democrats are on a roll, and they're playing for keeps. So we have to be. When we campaigned, the biggest problem is people had no idea what was going on. And granted, we understand people are working 1 and 2 jobs and have kids and all that sort of thing. So Constance and I will keep track of what's going on in Trenton. We'll do that so you don't have to. All you have to do is tune in to our podcast when we finally schedule it. Hopefully, we'll be starting in March. And hopefully you'll be able to download our podcasts wherever podcasts can be found.
Yeah, well, we stream live on every social media platform pretty much as well, and they can download it. But yeah, no, I mean, that's the whole point. We need to get the information out there. I mean, this is Jersey Shore, so I always want to gear it towards what's happening in New Jersey. You want to talk about Trenton, obviously what's happening in New Jersey as well. We need to get out to the voters. We need people let them know what's going on. These bills that are passed that nobody knows about, that is very important.
Yeah.
So, and then
the Democrats thrive in darkness.
Yes.
As long as people are unaware, they have their power. If we can shine a light on what's going on, maybe people, when they go to the voting booth, they will think twice. That from what I can see, what happened last Monday, I will tell you with almost 100% confidence that the Democrats do not have your best interest in mind if you live in New Jersey. They are just going to make things worse for you, higher taxes, more dangerous. They made changes to the vaccine schedule that's very frightening. Yeah, they're going to punish every voter in New Jersey until they're totally give up. But we're not going to give up. We're going to keep at it. So
no, not at all. That's why, as everyone knows, I'm running for Congress again in CD1. So if you go to votedamongaldo.com, again, I'm going to need all the help I can get. If you can click on that donate button, I would much appreciate it. But I'm going up against a juggernaut, so it's not going to be an easy battle at all. But also just remember, next Friday, I want to have the financial breakdown of what New Jersey people pay as well. It's going to be a big one to break it down. So Friday night, I don't know, maybe I'll save it for the following Monday. I don't know. I'll let you guys know, but it's coming up within the next week because I just want to get the most viewers and listeners because it's very important. The stuff that I've uncovered is mind-boggling, and you're going to be pissed off about it. And then a big one, January 28th, I want to have Congressman Van Drew on. But he'll be on 28th. We'll pre-record it, and I'll air it that Friday because he can only do Wednesday, and Wednesday isn't my podcast. It's the Pulse. But I'll be on the Pulse that night. But I'll pre-record it with Jeff, and Jeff is an awesome guy in CD2. So look forward to that on the 30th. That's when it'll air. So, all right, Jack, thanks for coming on as always, man. I appreciate it.
Hey, Damon, it's always fun.
Yeah, it is. So, all right, signing off. Have a good night.
Good night, everyone.
Yeah. This one's for New Jersey. For every working family that's had enough. Name's Damon Galdo. And I'm just getting started. Job site dust to the streets of the shore. Steel-toed boots, yeah, I know what I'm working for. Middle class hurting, every bill going up. While suits in D.C. say, man, just trust us. I'm a builder by trade, put my sweat in the ground. Now I'm building up hope for my hometown. Jersey's my home, blue-collar soul. I don't make excuses, I get it done, that's all I know. I felt the pressure, I've lived that grind, trying to give your kids a better life. I won't forget where I came from, man, cause I'm built by work. I'm built by working hands, fighting for working families. Not a career man who forgot what hard work means. They talk real big, but nothing ever changes. While Jersey keeps drowning in the same old pain, I'll build a future strong for our kids in this land. I'm Damon Galdo, built by working hands. Yeah. Donald Norcross been there year after year. Same old story while the struggle's still here. Claims he's for workers, but look around town. Rent sky high, grocery bills breaking us down. Where's the relief for the middle class grind? Cause all I see is folks falling behind. I ain't got decades in some DC chair. I got skin in the game, cause my family's here. Time, they had their shot, and tell me, Jersey, what have we got? It's time for change, time for a stand, time for a work, and not another plan, not another plan, not another plan. Yeah! I'm built by working hands, fighting for working families. Not some suit who sold you fantasy. We waited long enough, it's time to demand a future built by honest hands for Jersey strong, for this great land. I'm Damon Galdo, built by working hands. Yeah, this ain't left, this ain't right. This is fight for what's right. For every mom working double shifts, every dad praying they don't miss. I'm running for my kids, running for yours, for a state that deserves so much more. Not talk, that's the plan. Let's build it back with a working man. For our children's dreams, for a better way. I'll fight for Jersey every day. No empty words, I'll take the stand. Cause I'm built by work. Yeah, I'm built by working hands, fighting for working families. While the old guard for our kids in this land. I'm Damon, Galdo, built by working hands. New Jersey 1st District. If you're tired of the talk and ready for work, walk with me. Galdo, Galdo. Galdo, Galdo. Galdo, Galdo. Make the crowd chant with no music.
Thank you for watching this episode of the Jersey Shore podcast. So please click the subscribe button to get notified of upcoming episodes. If you like what the hammer Damon Galdo talked about, then send the Jersey Shore podcast to others. The Hammer also looks forward to your comments during upcoming episodes.